guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a video like I did one a long time ago, and it's going to be about my second job and talking about it, what did I do, everything like that, the ins and the outs, and my opinion on the company and just the job itself. I did one for my first job, which was dietary aid. I did that in a nursing home. Well, it wasn't a nursing home, it was more of like an assisted living facility, like one more upscale, like for the rich. And that job, I absolutely loved it, but obviously, you know, there's pros and cons to every job. So this one's gonna be about my second job, and my second job was an EVS tech, which I'm not exactly sure what that stands for, but to put it in simple terms, it's housekeeping for hospitals. And I'm sure there's probably like different terms for housekeeping for like other jobs, but for the hospital and my job position, I was an EVS tech. So I'm going to tell you what I did. I'm going to tell you what I loved about the job, just the ins and outs. Like if you're someone who's interested in trying to do housekeeping, I'm going to be giving you the tea. And this is no hate. I'm not backlashing anybody who I used to work with if you're watching this. Obviously every job, I mean, there's obviously anger with every job and frustrations with every job, and people don't get along, and then you have your moments. That's with any job, okay? Literally any job, okay? But yeah, let's start. So I was housekeeping for the hospital. I think I worked there for like almost 2 years. So let me just run down like what I did. So I come in and I clocked in and I did night shift. This was the first time I ever did night shift, so I was kind of nervous because when I did dietary aid, I worked during the day. I think I got off at 7. I worked 5 hours, so really I was super part-time. And this job I was supposed to be part-time, but because we were so short-staffed, I ended up being full-time. Whether I said I was or not, they kind of just made me full-time, kind of without asking me, but whatever. I was there, I did the job. And I got paid really good money, like super good money, okay? And this job I did when I lived in Tennessee. And it wasn't a super huge hospital. It was like 3 floors, but it was still big for me. And I also worked 8 hours. So that was my first job where I worked 8 hours and I worked night shifts. So it was like completely a different mindset than working 5 hours during the day. So I would come in I always came in an hour early because I'm crazy. I like to be early rather than late, and you never know, traffic. I mean, you just never know, so I always came in early, and I'd sit in the parking lot in my car, whatever. Okay, so I got in, clocked in, and then 2:55 we would clock in because I would start at 3 p.m. and we would come in and do our morning not morning, but our like meetings with everybody, and then the company, our boss would tell us like what we need to improve on, what we didn't do. We didn't do something right the previous night, we need to do this, these are the rules, like just a meeting of like how the shift is supposed to go, and like anything that's coming up, like if we use different chemicals, or if what would you call it, like not a procedure, but like something we're supposed to be doing changed, or like say there's a COVID room, this is what we're doing different, we're using this type of, like there were different stipulations for every certain thing, because hospitals are so nitpicky because it's a hospital. I mean, there is like certain procedures that you have to do right. Like if you don't do it, no, you have to do every little thing 100% correct, okay? It's very nitpicky, very strict. I mean, it's a hospital, for crying out loud. There's sick people there and surgeries, and I don't know. It's just super strict, okay? way more strict than my dietary aid job, okay? Also, I'm gonna be sipping on Gatorade, so if that bothers you, sorry. So yeah, so we'd come in and do our meeting, and then we would get assigned our area, and it was supposed to be a consistent area. Sorry, I'm getting text messages. It was supposed to be like a specific area, so you would have med surge, which if you're a nurse, you obviously know what I'm talking about. I don't really know how to describe it. It's just where patients stay for multiple days. They could stay for weeks. I don't really know how else to describe it, but there's med surge, and then there was rehab and serenity. So med surge was its own area. Med surge was strictly just an area that just one person, and mind you, it's one person to an area, okay? Med surge was its own section because it was the biggest. I wouldn't say it's the biggest section, but it's the busiest section, okay? You have the most rooms to clean in that section. So you're assigned med surge, and then you have rehab and serenity. Rehab is basically like long-term patients. Like say you got into a car accident and you need to get like physical therapy every day and checked up on every day, and you're bedridden for a little bit until you get, that's rehab, okay? And that can be like any type of thing, but a car accident's like the thing that I would know. And then Serenity is for the mentally ill, I guess, mentally challenged, like dementia, just like the very, very sick patients that are like mentally ill, you know. I don't want to be rude or anything because I have super like big sympathy for those kinds of patients. I also loved working up there because there were some things that you see that you're like, oh my god, and you're not used to it if you don't normally work up there. So I like that a lot. And that area is pretty slow. We didn't do Serenity until 10 p.m. and mind you, I get off at 11:30. So that one you wait until the end of the shift because you want to wait for them to be in bed before you work up there. But anywho, you have that, and then you have, I'm trying to think, I put in my 2 weeks like I want to say 6 months ago, so I'm trying to remember bits and pieces of this job. What are the other areas? Oh, you have the ER and same day. So same day would be like the surgeries. So say you come in for a surgery like what's a good surgery? I don't remember, but a surgery, you come in and then they leave, okay? And that section of the hospital closes at a certain time. I forget when it's not open the whole shift. Like, it's not open 24/7 like the other areas are, okay? It closes at 5 or something, like, I don't know, it closes, okay? So that's like the surgery rooms, and those rooms are small. I mean, you do that. And then you have ER is busy, constant. There's always spills, they always need you. EVS, come here, housekeeping. Like, ER is like hectic and your brain is spinning and it's crazy, okay? So that's a section that someone would do. And then you have radiology and PT. Those are like, you don't ever get discharges, which are like rooms that you have to clean. It's very chill. You do a list, you have a list, you do what you need to do, and then you go home, okay? Very chill. And you can do at any pace. You don't need to do this at this time, this at this, blah. Nope. Radiology, if you don't know, it's where you get x-ray, CT scans. Like, it's pretty simple, and a lot of it you don't clean because we don't clean machines. At least in that facility, we did not touch any of the machines, okay? We just took the trash, cleaned the floor, okay, whatever. I will talk about it more in depth. And then PT was physical therapy. I mean, that's just where you go for physical therapy. I don't know how else to describe it, but there is a lot of crap in that room, like a lot of, not like electronic equipment, but like benches and just certain things that help with like obviously physical therapy. And then there was a kid room in there to help with like speech therapy and all that kind of stuff, which we never cleaned the toys. Nope, we just put them up on a bin, put them on a table, whatever, you know. There was that in there, and that was a section that somebody did. And then there was a lab, which is obviously like the blood work and all that. And then there was medical records, which you did before 5 p.m. because obviously that's like the patient's medical records, so you want to be in there when the staff is in there. Which that one we just vacuumed. It was all carpet, and then there was a bathroom in there, and then you check trash. I mean, you don't really do a lot in there. There's the front lobby of the hospital that you do, like the main front lobby. I mean, obviously every area of the hospital has like its own lobby or waiting area that you clean, but there was the humongous like front main entrance to the hospital that you clean, and that took quite a bit because they put in some new flooring and it sucks. So yeah, and each little like waiting area in the main front lobby, front entrance, you clean that as well. It was all carpeted, and then you had like behind all the reception desks that you got trash cleaned, whatever. So anywho, you're assigned your area in the meeting, and I'm not going to go through like what each section does. I'm just going to give you like a basic run through. Basically, you have a checklist. Okay, you have this checklist, and you go through the checklist and you clean all the stuff. So you could have like the nurse's station, and that's like mopping, trash, you know, clean the counters, everything like that. You have lobbies where you just clean all the chairs, vacuum if you need to, mop if it's hard floor, check the trash, this and that, high dust, you know. And then you have like hallways. There's 3 hallways in med-surg, so you would like go and mop them. And then you would get discharges, which are rooms that you actually have to clean. So we get little phones. They're the ones that, like, if you ever work at Target, it's literally the same devices that you get. Like, it goes ding, or it makes noises when you have to clean a room. And sometimes I would have a lot of rooms, okay? Oh my god, it would be so stressful some nights. And we were mostly short-staffed, like, every day of my life working at the hospital, we were always short staffed. Like, we never had enough people on night shift. Like, does no one like to work night shift? Like, I don't understand, but we were always short staffed, and it was so hard, and I was always busy, and I would be exhausted, and then my body hurt, my feet hurt. Like, I'm not trying to be like, oh my god, woe is me, and my job was so hard, but no. Trust me, if you know, you know, and like, being short staffed for any job is just difficult and a freaking pain in the butt, and you're doing more than you should, but it has to get done, you know what I mean? So anywho, you would be doing these rooms, and sometimes the nurses would be like super picky. Like, if the ER is overflowing, they're obviously going to need rooms in the med-surg, because the ER is overflowing, they have to put patients in med-surg, and the med-surg is overflowing, and there's not enough rooms because you don't have enough time to clean all the rooms. And when you clean rooms, you just go in, you strip the rooms. I mean, I'm not going to go through in depth, but I'm sure when you're hired, they'll teach you and show you what you need to do. But you would go in and clean the rooms, and it would be exhausting. It's a hard job. This job is not easy. Also, during cleaning rooms, you would do refreshes, which is going in the patient rooms and refreshing the room. So you would go in, knock on the door, be like, hello, I'm Samantha. I'm gonna be getting your trash and just checking your room for you. So you go in and you check the room, and then you get all the trash, check the bathroom, yada yada, high dust, whatever. And then you'd be like, okay, have a good night, or see you tomorrow, if you know they're gonna be there again. Those were your refreshes, and sometimes you would have 30 refreshes that you would have to do, and all of this, mind you, has to get done in your shift, okay? We don't skip refreshes, we don't skip rooms. The only time you don't do a room is if you have 30 minutes till you have to leave. You just tell the nurses, like, you don't have time to do the room, so you just don't do the room. But for the most part, it was always hard to get a break. I believe when I first started, it was 2 15-minute breaks, but then somehow along the line it got changed to 1 15-minute break, but whatever, and then you got your 30-minute lunch. So yeah, it was very hectic. This job is very hard. I mean, I wouldn't say the job itself is hard, because cleaning to me is easy once you get the hang of it, knowing what cleaners you have to use and just how to clean a proper room. I mean, every area of the hospital is different. It's just exhausting on your body, hard on your mental health. I swear, like, I wanted to quit this job so many times because I hated being short-staffed. I feel like if we weren't short-staffed, I would like have such an easier time. But also, like, no hate on this now that I'm thinking about it, but management kind of sucked, and I'm not trying to hate on anybody, talk crap about anybody. No, I pretty much loved everybody I worked with, and there were moments where like me and this other person would like argue, or they didn't like what I was doing, I didn't like what they were doing, we talk crap. I mean, that's any job, there's drama in any job, but honestly, I really did love who I worked with, and I honestly do miss working at the hospital. But I'm just so glad I'm at a nicer, I don't want to say nicer job, but like a less stressful job. Like, I absolutely love where I'm working now. I'm doing custodian work at a school, so it's super like low stress, super easy, chill. I mean, we don't care, like, go on as many breaks as you want. I mean, obviously don't sit for like hours on end doing nothing, but like, I mean, we can go and get drinks, go and eat, go and sit if you need a minute. Like, it's just so, like, I don't know, the environment is better. Like, they're not as strict. But yeah, working in a hospital is super hectic, especially ER. I'd be like, one time I had to clean up glass, and then you clean up throw up a lot, and blood, you clean up. Like, if you can't handle that, don't do this kind of job. But yeah, it also gets very dirty. We clean potty chairs that are gross. I mean, I'm not trying to be super gross on the internet and talk about this, but this is like the life of it, and this is how it is. But yeah, this job is hard, it's stressful. I mean, you need to be dedicated, you need to like working with people and patients, and you know, and there were like doctor offices that you clean, but that was like super late at night that you clean those, and those ones you don't have any patients because all the doctor's offices close at 5 p.m. anyway, so you didn't have any discharges. But yeah, that's basically it about working in the hospital. I mean, it's super stressful. I mean, I don't know how else to tell you. It's not an easy job. I mean, there are certain jobs where it's like super easy, and then there's other jobs where it's like not super easy but not super hard, and then, you know, it's just more stressful of a job. So just know what you're getting yourself into if you want to do housekeeping. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. I know my last dietary aid video that I made had a lot of feedback, so yeah. Also, dress code, they gave you uniforms that you had to wear. You had to wear black pants, and they had to be scrub pants, no leggings, no jeans, blah blah blah. They provided shoes that you did not have to pay for. They have to be non-slip shoes, and then they gave us uniform tops. So yeah, and then we had our badge, and then yeah, our cleaning carts were really, really nice. They're the really, really fancy, nice ones with the top that closes and locks, and then you have like, it was just super nice, okay? Like if you ever see housekeepers in hospitals, we had really nice carts. Here in the school we don't, but I'll talk about the school job once I have more experience. I've only worked there for like almost 3 weeks now, so yeah, I did really like the housekeeping job in the hospital. The management, I mean, it was just so short-staffed that they were making me work more than I wanted to work, and I'm fine with helping out. I did help out a lot with this job being short-staffed, but the girl, the HR lady, she scheduled me for 9 days in a row, and I told her I can't do this. Like, I was like full-time college student as well, mind you. So yeah, I did really like the job. It wasn't the environment for me. I probably would have ended up quitting if I hadn't moved to Pennsylvania. I probably would have worked where my mom was working in a private assisted living facility, because I couldn't do the short staff. But anywho, the job was really fun. You just go in, you clean rooms, you talk to patients, you clean areas. I mean, you're always on the go. You're never really getting time to sit. You don't really, like, you're running around like you're here, then they want you there and here and there, and then you clean this room, and then that's literally what it feels like. It's a tornado. Like I knew someone, like my friend who still works there, which God bless her for still working there, because she's told me so many times that she wanted to quit, but she still works there, and she ended up having a panic attack and having to go to the ER because it was just so much stress. And she's like an older lady. Like, I'm young, I'm only 21, and she's older, but I love her. I miss her too, but God bless her for staying at that job, because oh my God, it was one of the most stressful jobs I've like ever done. But it was only my second job, so like, I don't know, I don't have a lot of job experience, but that, like, holy crap. But yeah, I like cleaning, that's why I did the job. I mean, I love this school job that I'm doing now. But yeah, if you want to be EVS tech, I forget what that actually stands for, environmental something technician or something like that, I forget. I wish I would have kept my badge, because I kept my badge from dietary aid, but I gave back my housekeeping badge. I should have just kept it for memory. But yeah, if you want to work there, just know that it's very hectic. I mean, you see stuff that you don't see every day. I mean, it's a hospital. It's gross, so beware. You're always on the go. It's hectic, busy, stressful, mentally draining, physically draining. I mean, and if you get to know the nurses, they try to make your life a little bit better. I mean, I wasn't like super close with every single nurse that I worked with, but I was close with some of them, and they would like mess around with you in a fun way and try to make your life easier. They'd get supplies for me, they'd get certain stuff for me, they'd empty trash cans for me, which is kind of like everybody's job, but nurses are gonna be nurses. They're gonna be like, that's your job, it's not my job, but it really is. If everyone works together as a team, it makes it a lot easier. But yeah, that was my experience. Would I go back to it? No, probably not. Just because of the stress, I just can't do it. I'm such an, is it an introvert? I gotta make sure I'm saying this right. What is an introvert? Okay, yeah, I'm an introvert, so I'm not a people person at all. I mean, it's just how it is. My sister's having a baby. Okay, anywho, she probably didn't want that on the internet, but I'm an auntie. Anywho, yeah, that was my experience as an EVS tech, so feel free to ask me any questions in the comments. And yeah, I will be talking about my school cleaning job later in the future. Like, I don't even know when I'm going to talk about it, but I will. And yeah, I will see you guys next week. Bye.